Hi, and welcome to ActivityFix. In this video, and the rest of the videos in this series, I'll be going over all of the features of ActivityFix and how to use them. Each video should be self-contained, so if there's a specific topic you're interested in, you can just go straight to that video and you don't need to watch them in any specific order. If this is your first time signing in, you'll be greeted with this page, and you can click Connect with Strava. ActivityFix does not require you to create an account. Instead, it just uses your Strava account to log in. This page is from Strava, and it's asking for permission to allow ActivityFix to connect to your account. There are 3 permissions that it asks for. The first one, view your complete Strava profile, is required and gives ActivityFix access to a list of your gear and some other information that it needs in order to process your activities. The second permission, view data about your private activities, is entirely optional. If you choose to allow that permission, then ActivityFix can also run your rules on activities marked as private and not just public activities. Finally, the last permission, upload your activities from ActivityFix to Strava, is required and is what allows ActivityFix to actually update your activities after processing your rules. If you'd like more information, there's a link to the privacy policy on the ActivityFix page. Once you're logged in, you'll see the main dashboard. If you're a new user, you will see a couple of prompts to begin with. The first one is just asking for your email. It's entirely optional, and you do not need to provide it if you don't want to. You can just click the X in the corner to close it. The next prompt gives you the option to connect to Garmin or Wahoo. If you do this, it will give you some additional matching conditions, for example, your Ant Plus sensors or the name of the fit file that you recorded on, and will also give you a little bit of extra data that you can use in your rules. It's also not required, so if you don't want to connect it or you don't have an account with one of those services, you can just click the X in the corner to close it. So let's go ahead and do that just to go through the process. So I'll start with Garmin. When you click this, it will take you to the Garmin Connect login portal where you will need to fill in your information. So I'll just put mine in here. And once you've signed in, it will ask if you're willing to share your activity information from Garmin to ActivityFix. Once you authorize this, what will happen is anytime you record an activity, Garmin or Wahoo in the other case will provide information about that activity that ActivityFix can use to retrieve the additional information that I mentioned. So once your account has been successfully connected, you should see this message, or in the Wahoo case, it'll say Wahoo. On the main dashboard page in the beginning, you'll see a list of the most recent updates to the site in the center area, and then in the menu is a list of different pages that you can visit. The top section of the menu is for settings, so you can set your email preferences, which would be changing, updating, or removing your email. Connected services will let you connect or disconnect your Garmin or Wahoo account, and settings will let you change some general site settings. So if I click into that, it lets you set distance, elevation, and temperature. I'll skip processing for a second, and then if you have connected your Garmin or Wahoo account, you can change the source for your FTP and weight to come directly from the fit file instead of from Strava. The week start date is only used for goals at the moment and just lets you decide which day of the week your goals start on. Processing delay is by default 10 seconds, but if you have other apps connected to Strava that might overwrite some of that data, or if you want a chance to go into Strava and change some information on your activity before it's processed, you can increase this delay from 1 to 15 minutes. Below that are the different pages that you can visit within ActivityFix. I'll have a separate video on most of these, but at a high level, My Rules is a list of all of the rules that you've created. From this page, you can see what you have, enable and disable them, edit them, delete them, and essentially manage any rules that you have. The Add Rule page lets you create new rules. The Sensors page lets you save and delete any sensors that you'd like to recognize in your rules. That page is only available if you've already connected with Garmin or Wahoo. The counters page lets you create, modify, and delete any counters that you might want to use in your rules. The goals page lets you create goals. It's similar to the goals that Strava already has included, but the goals that you can create with ActivityFix can be more complex than anything that you can create with Strava. Activity processing history will show you any activities that you've recorded and how they were processed by ActivityFix. So it's very useful if you need to go understand why a rule isn't working or isn't doing exactly what you expect it to do. And process old activities is very useful for new users, or if you create a new rule, it lets you go and apply your rules to any old activities in your history. Finally, the last two sections, FAQ and Help and Tutorial, have a couple of the more commonly asked questions or small instruction pages on using some common features. I'm hoping that these videos will end up replacing that eventually. And finally, if you're enjoying the site and find it useful, I'd appreciate any donation you'd be willing to make to help cover server costs. Thanks, and welcome to ActivityFix.